Hello. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Also, thank you for 4,000 subscribers. I'm very honored and thrilled. I want to welcome my guests who honestly are probably too big to be on this live stream with me, but they're really nice. So
maybe Evelyn. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We have famous author and YouTuber Evelyn Dar. If you want some real rankings, go to Evelyn's channel. That's where the best lesbian rankings are.
I don't know about the famous, but
infamous.
Right? Infamous. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. That's it. That's about it. That's my qualification.
Okay. Also, welcome to the stream, famous L word expert, also famous cults expert, Ash Silver.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
If you're a fan of Evelyn and Ash, let's see some rainbows going. I think we got quite a few fans in the chat. Also, what's up to everyone in the chat? Thanks for joining. Patron Lori, we got Becky, Christine. We got, yeah, that's it. I'm sure more to join soon. And of course, we are here today to discuss this yahoo.com ranking of all the Gen Q characters. Yeah, they didn't really rank all of them. Like right at the top, I'm going to say like they could have ranked Pippa, but she was left off the list, and I don't necessarily know why. I know they can't do everyone, like Fortune Feimster, that would have been pointless. But pretty much besides Pippa, we get all of the like characters with significant screen time ranked.
Yeah, that's weird. You think because like she was in a lot of episodes in season 2, and she was like the main character's love interest too. So.
Yeah, I was disappointed to not see her. I don't know if it's racism.
Rosie's in it?
Rosie, well,
Rosie's kind of on the list.
Yeah, well,
I didn't look because I was like, oh, I don't want to get to.
We'll get to Rosie. Let me go ahead and share like what the article looks like. Kind of the headline. I actually don't know who wrote this. It's just a lesbian blogger.
Nameless, faceless.
By the time we get to this list, oh, thanks for the super, Lori. By the time we get to this through this list, I think maybe it was on purpose that she doesn't.
Always the nameless and faceless that are the trouble.
Yes, that is true. Speaking from experience, I have no face. But Rosie G and BB, I don't have a face. She was worried because she can't see me. No one can see me, Rosie. I don't have a face.
Evelyn's just a voice now. You're in the Matrix, aren't you? You're just.
She's a mystery.
Plugged in.
From the future. An enigma.
And of course, I want to discuss how all of this will play into season 3 and basically anything we want to talk about related to Gen Q. So we got a lot going on, and yeah, make sure you follow Evelyn and Ash if you aren't already. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in here. This list is ranked from worst to best. So this blogger decided who is the worst character on Gen Q, and then all the way to who is the best. So let's go ahead and get this started. Up the bottom of our list, number 14 is Finley. Who?
Sorry.
In like Evan and I, we were discussing this a little earlier. The list does not have a lot of like reasonings why she chose to rank these people, but I see like a very all caps, why must you be how you are? I don't know. What do you two think? Does Finley deserve to be at the bottom? I'm going to put in a poll as well.
Ooh,
no. I actually do like Finley.
Yeah, no, I like Finley too. Well, so you know what I'll say. I actually think this is not controversial based on comments. I don't think a lot of people like Finley. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
I agree.
I love Finley. but I think I'm in the minority. You'll have to see what the poll does. Like, but
I would, yeah,
huh?
guess you're right. Why do you love Finley?
she's she's like this little puppy that's like not too bright, but it's really, really cute. And she has just like this sad girl energy, because she's got some kind of trauma. We don't know about it. I doubt we'll ever find out because
Oh, I have a story about that.
backstory, what is that? But so she has this like trauma, and so she's like, and I think that's probably fuels part of her alcoholism. But she's I think she just has a good heart, and she's kind of a screw up, but she doesn't want to be. You know what I mean? And she's a good friend. Like she's the kind of person that I think would just drop everything for her friends if they needed her.
Yeah.
Unlike Danny, who's everybody's favorite. But I digress.
Okay, but was she a good friend to Danny?
She wasn't really.
Yeah.
Was she really Danny's friend though? I feel like she was more Sophie's friend because her and Sophie's were like besties, and her and Dan, because Danny and Finley are almost opposites. So even though they were in the group, I don't think she and Danny were like, things were always kind of tense between them even before. Like not tense, but just like I don't think they were.
I know what you mean, like the best friend who doesn't necessarily super get on with the partner. That it's like,
Right. Yeah, I guess I didn't consider Finley Danny's friend. Anyway, like
Okay,
and
is she a good
but
friend to
she's
Sophie?
she's a sweet person, I think.
yeah, I agree. I really do like Finley, and I just think the same thing. Like, I think she's a really seems to be a nice person. Like, okay, like she has her issues too, and I do really like the kind of angle they were attempting to do but didn't really do, which was this person who comes from like this conservative background and
Yeah.
has this like thing with religion and stuff. And very quick story time is that last year at the end, well, it was like mid-season, Showtime approached me and asked to do something with me for National Coming Out Day, which was the day the finale came out. And so if you go to like Showtime's YouTube channel now, there's a video where on National Coming Out Day, I told my coming out story, and it was like in partnership with them. And when they approached me, they said, oh, okay, this is going to be one of 4 videos that we're going to put out for National Coming Out Day. And all of the other videos are going to be characters from the show having the character tell their like coming out / backstory, like who they are, where they came from. And it was going to be Micah, Finley, and Gigi. And they, by the time they approached me, like these were already shot. They already have them somewhere. But then for some mysterious reason, they never released them. And they just put together this really awful, like one video that just clipped together scenes of people like talking about, like there was one of Angie and Tina from season 1, and like I was really excited about it, especially Gigi, because I was like, yes, and I really liked the Finley angle at that at that time.
Did you get to see part of that, or like
No, they told me like loosely, but they said, because whenever they do like all the promotional pictures and the thing last year where they all walked around behind the scenes, they do all that like over a day, and everything is, and it's usually a day that they're filming because they're already like have gone through the works, and they have like the poker scene, the poker episode, they had all those pictures where they're in the red and the orange and they're sitting like the ones they used last season, so they must exist somewhere. But
well, I agree with both of you as far as like the interesting stuff I wish they would have pursued with Finley. Like, I don't know that we're going to get that, and it would have been great if we did. I also agree with the 76% of people voting in the poll that are like, actually, I think the poll, what was the poll? Let me see. It was, so actually everybody in this group, for the most part, 74% believe she does not deserve to be at the bottom of the list.
good.
I'm going to go ahead and be in the minority. I don't know.
So you think Finley's the worst? Wait, you think Finley's the worst?
No, I don't think she deserves to be at the very bottom. but I know why she's there. Like,
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
if you go to like an L Word themed, chat or discussion or something, like people hate Fenley. Like, not this group we have here, not in the chat. They're saying she's like a puppy, and how can you hate a puppy? But I mean, I don't find Fenley likable either, to be honest.
Really? You don't think she's likable?
That's so bizarre.
I think she's likable in season 1, and she's like the goofy, light-hearted comedic relief of the young people. And I've been trying to I've been like rewatching season 1, and there is a lot that I
God
miss.
bless you.
Yeah, I know.
Good luck.
I feel like in season 2, I think with Finley and Sophie, there was some character assassination that happened. Specifically with Sophie, we'll get to Sophie, but I think season 2, they effed up her storyline.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think
1
that
Finley is towards the top of the list.
Contributed to people disliking her so much.
They gave her like a villain edit.
I mean, that opening episode where she is that, or maybe it's the second. I can't remember which episode it is, 1 or 2 of season 2, where she interrupts the wedding. Like, yeah, that's straight up villain. And to me, it's more villainous that she doesn't realize she's doing this like really dramatic thing. She seems to be like, "Oh, hey, dudes. So like, no, there's like a wedding going on, but like, I'm totally in love with Sophie, and like, I think she loves me back. Mic drop."
Yeah, I just can't imagine not liking her. But also, I know this is like Finley and the character and all that, but like Jack Tobani is like the nicest person in the world too. So maybe there's a little bit of that like crossing in my mind as
You're
well.
a little biased there.
Yeah,
A little biased. That's okay.
Well, maybe as the chat said, maybe the rehab will take, and we'll see less of a villainous edit in season 3. Maybe they will explore her background.
I don't think so.
Listen, there's things I hope for, and there's things I know I'm not gonna get. Huh? Backstory is a ship I know has sailed.
So the poll agrees with you too. That I agree with that too. She doesn't deserve to be 14. That's way last is pretty extreme. Let's go on to number 13, who I think these two probably have a lot to do with each other. I'm gonna go ahead and say, and it's Sophie. And the author's like, it was tough to decide who stunk more, Finley or Sophie.
Damn.
I think what you two said about it being related to the cheating stuff, I think that's where a lot of people fell off with the Sophie and Finley.
Also, everyone on the L Word.
Yeah, I do feel like in season 1, I understand the dislike in season 2 because again, I think they just season 2. We're not gonna talk about that. But in season 1, at least in my comment section, people were hating on Finley and Sophie even then. And yeah, I didn't understand that either because I'm like, this is the L Word. Did you think everybody was just going to be like happy and have like lovely relationships with no, like that's what they do. So I didn't understand. I feel like they got a disproportionate amount of hate for doing what other characters in the original show did a lot and didn't get hate for.
You think their cheating was the same as the other cheating stuff though? Because like it was like with each other in the group.
I don't understand. What?
Like, okay, Bet cheats in the initial cheating is with I forgot her name.
Her wife of 7 years who had a miscarriage. That's way worse.
Okay, but if Bet cheats on Tina with Shane, we don't view them the same for like the rest of the show, in my opinion.
So you're trying to say that because this was a character and this wasn't like an outside character, like Candace wasn't she wasn't part of the group, so you're saying because Finley is part of the group it's worse? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and that's why we cheered when Dana and Alice got together, because who Dana was cheating on was
Tanya.
Tanya is like some side character that's not part of the group, and we're like, great, she's the worst. Nobody thinks Danny's the worst. Like, spoiler
I think
alert.
Danny's the worst. I fucking hate Danny. Sorry.
Really?
Sorry.
Okay,
I'm so
hot
sorry.
take.
I'm
Hot
so
take.
Sorry. I know that's literally the most unpopular opinion I could possibly have, but it is what it is.
Joanne is reminding us of who all cheated. Yes, a lot of people cheated. I wouldn't say
It's shorter
everybody
to say who
cheats.
didn't.
Yeah, it's definitely a shorter
I
leash.
mean, I get what you're saying. I don't agree. I guess I just feel like if you cheat, you cheat. I guess I don't differentiate within the group because especially because we barely knew this group before the cheating started.
Yeah.
We didn't really know them that well, and then the cheating started. So I didn't really feel any sort of loyalty to them. I'll be honest.
I see what you're saying. I think that's why the fans reacted the way they did. But I know I
You
could be
think it's
wrong.
because they felt like it was the group thing?
Yeah, I was like prepared for the Gen Q group to like be a new fun group the way the OG one was. I was like pretty disappointed when I realized like, oh, this is not. And you two probably weren't disappointed if you didn't even view Finley as like a friend of Danny's. So maybe that was
Yeah,
like
I didn't think they were.
I just saw that differently.
Mm. That's possible.
I guess I never even would have had that thought because like Evelyn said, I was still looking at them as like very new because hadn't got to know them, so I don't
Mhm.
think I even like equated the fact that she was in the group. I was just looking at it as like cheating more because it's kind of like people always go, someone's cheating on someone with like another woman at work or whatever. I saw it in one of those stupid Facebook groups the other day. Someone's like, "Oh, my husband's like texting this other woman at work, and they've slept together, and this and that." And it's like, that's on your husband's like. And this woman wanted to go after the other woman, and it's like, yeah, okay, they're not the greatest if they know that you exist and the person has a wife and kids, but like that's on the person who's in the relationship, really.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, let me be controversial because
Ooh.
I love
That's
drama.
you.
So do you guys, and this is for chat too, do you think that if Sophie and Finley were more, how do I want to word this? Were more feminine, both of them, and more of the conventionally attractive femme lesbians, do you think they will be getting as much hate as they've gotten?
Absolutely not. No.
That's it. You don't think so, Ash? What about
No.
you, Amanda? Because you think it's the buddy thing, which it very well look. It very well
Well,
could be.
I'm glad you asked this because
It was just a question. I'm just curious.
No, yeah, I was just going to ask you what you think it is if it's not that. And so I cannot sit here and pretend that that kind of stuff doesn't matter. Like Gigi's
Mhm.
the favorite partly because she's like
ridiculously, yeah.
mind-blowingly hot.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how attractive Gigi is.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
But I also think there's like all these other great qualities about the character of Gigi, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not just that.
Yeah, it's not just that, but that, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
But that
Like
helps.
Gigi's a good character, honestly. Like overall. Anyway, we'll get to Gigi.
Yeah. To answer your question, of course, they wouldn't be getting as much hate if they were two femme-looking lesbians. I think they're lesbians on the show. And I also think a lot of it is on me because, like I said, when I've been rewatching, I think they had this in mind from like the get-go. Because in the opening episode, when Sophie and Danny are hooking up, Finley and Micah just like burst in, just like no boundaries. And Finley is sort of constantly wanting to hang out with Sophie. And so I think that's something that I just missed. It was just too subtle for my like,
right.
Whatever you want to call it, not looking deep enough eyes.
Yeah, it will definitely. I mean, the way they write them, I'm sure they would. Well, the L word's not really known for like subtlety or like they sometimes have an idea that exists in an episode, and it's like there's no sort of planning, but then there's no like follow up after with things. But I do think that they were focusing on because I do think that in the beginning they wanted to maybe not have like Danny and Sophie be like the Bet and Tina because I think they knew they couldn't possibly recreate that, but I do think that they wanted to have Sophie be like the Bet, like even though they're all main cast members, like the lead, and I just think that the kind of audience reaction didn't work, so they
Mhm.
had to
I
kind of
see.
reevaluate like
I
what they were
see.
doing.
Do you think season 2, then they were like, okay, we're gonna have Danny be the Bet? But I don't know. She was kind of Bet-esque in season 1 too.
I think not a lot of people know this, but when they originally gave the order for Gen Q, they did say, "Oh, we want 10 episodes," but because Marsha's wife had just had a kid, she said, "No, can we do 8?" But they did give them 2 seasons. There was never any, is season 2 going to happen? They ordered 2 seasons from the get go, but they didn't obviously tell the public that, and I think that they realized after season 1, like, this isn't working the way we want it to. Because even think about the cliffhanger and all that stuff. They hadn't even really decided what was going to happen, and that was the same way with the Bet and Tina one. Like, they didn't. This is the thing that kind of frustrates me about the show, is that there's no overarching, this is where we want this character to be in 5 years ideally, or even have a season arc of like, we're doing all this to get here. And I'm not saying they have to have every single thing mapped out, but it's just, they just go from episode to episode. And it's why season 2, if you watch season 2 episode 1 and season 2 episode 10, they should be the beginning and the end of a book, but they're absolutely not. And I think that maybe after season 2, they've really been like, okay, this didn't work the way we wanted to with the newbies, and we're going all in on the OGs as like the main, and then maybe, even though they're all still main cast, the newbies going around. But I think with season 2, they were still trying to make that work, and they were just changing, well, maybe like tweaking things in hopes that it would still work. But Sophie and Finley just, for majority of the audience, it doesn't.
Yeah, the chat saying like, oh, if Sophie was supposed to have some sort of a lead role, they didn't think she could carry the show. Yeah, I think overall, as Evelyn said, Sophie and Finley were assassinated in season 2, character-wise. And I, as with Finley, I hope with Sophie we explore things. I don't know. Do you two think we're just gonna get? It's just gonna be the Sophie and Finley relationship for their two characters, and that's like their season 3.
I think that
No.
we'll get it in the beginning, and then I don't think anyone who's together in season 2 will be together by the end of season 3.
Yeah, they show Sophie in the trailer like looking pretty down at the bar and like
I
saying
mean,
stuff.
if they do what, like, if the relationship is going to be similar to the way it was in season 2, then no, I don't want to see that. That's not, no. I hope not, if that's the case.
Somebody in the chat thought
Mm.
Sophie, maybe it was Lori, said that Sophie is an enabler. Do you all think Sophie enabled Finley with the drinking?
Yeah, because not, I guess not like actively, like she wasn't like buying her alcohol and stuff, but there was a lot of like, I think just her not saying anything because she didn't want to rock the boat. And then there was a couple of other things, like I think it's episode 7 or 8.
The driving one?
Yeah, where she gets to but like when they're at Alice's party, they've obviously been at the party, like going around talking to all those people, and that's when Sophie's like, "Oh, Finley is like fitting in, and people like her," but like she's been drinking all night, and then halfway or the end of the night, she's like, "You're drinking," and it's like, "Yes, like it's been happening all night. Like, why are you presenting this as if it's new information?"
I think that, I think the Sophie's alcoholism storyline was poorly done. So I think it's kind of,
Finley.
I think it's hard to say if Sophie is an enabler, just because the storyline was just poorly done, in my opinion. Like, it just wasn't very good. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, let's move on from these two. Maybe it'll be a little more, a little less sad. Let's go to the next person in our list, and I know this is going to make a lot of people angry. Here we go. Number 12.
Oh.
Not
Tina.
only is Tina 12 on this list, she is referred
Sorry.
to as Snooze Tina and also Tuna.
Snooze. But she's called Tuna because she stinks, apparently, according to this. Wow.
Jesus.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, Sherry. I hear you. WTF.
Oh my god, the next line.
What does it say?
Barely more than a prop this season.
Woo!
But
Well, you know what though? That's not wrong. I'll be honest. Like no, not the Tuna and the Snooze Tina part, but she wasn't in the show. She wasn't in the show very much, so they're not wrong. But I don't think that means she's bad. She just wasn't in the show very much.
I agree that she was kind of a prop for Carrie and Bet, maybe. Like for those characters to have more compelling storylines. What is Tina on her own's compelling storyline?
I mean, she doesn't really not in Gen Q. She doesn't have one yet. If she ever gets one, you know.
They always kind of did that to Tina. Like they took from, like, they made her more of, like, if you look at like traditional television or even traditional movies, and you have like the main male character and his wife, and his wife is just like, but the thing that annoys me a little bit about Gen Q and the whole OG's Bet and Tina thing, we had Laurel Holloman, who very kindly has come back to the show, who doesn't have to by any means, and she came back for 2 episodes out of 8, and then half of the episodes last season, and they didn't have Bet, Alice, Shane, and Tina together until the 9th episode of the season, and they had all this rubbish with like Carrie and doing these things and therapy and all of that, and it's just it was really frustrating because that's not the most of the audience, even people who were not like the age to watch the L Word when it was on last time, but people who maybe now are like 24 and they've gone back and watched the OG, all those people, majority of the audience, 90%, love the original characters, and that's what they're there for. And yeah, okay, like a lot of people love Gigi and stuff, and I think Gigi could carry the show herself, but I am super invested in the originals, and having to wait all that time to have like these little, it just seems like such a waste. When I'm not saying you have to listen to your audience for everything, but it's just crazy to me to have like what everybody wants right there, and then to just fill it with, or like have these characters like not interacting or doing what you want.
Yeah, do you think that COVID had anything to do with that, or is that just like poor planning?
No, I mean they really waited for the filming, and also they cross shot, so they were like doing the like multiple episodes at a time. It was all like severely mapped out, and if anything, COVID should have made it easier for them to do that, because they couldn't have as many guest stars, and nobody was even allowed on the set who wasn't involved with the show until this. When I went, they told me I was the first person to come on set that wasn't involved with the show, and they even have like fewer guest stars. Last season they hardly had any, and it was like they purposely went out of their way to not have them. Well, they did not have them interacting, because
yeah, really poor decision. Like, yeah, that would have been really fun to see that more often. Evelyn, where would you put Tina on your list?
I'll be honest, I'm pretty neutral on Tina. If we're going exclusively by Gen Q, I'm neutral on her. Like she wasn't there enough for me to be like, go Tina or bad Tina. Like what you said, 2 episodes? Was that it?
In season 1, yeah.
Season 1. Okay, so she was in season 2 more. I'm neutral on Tina and Gen Q. Like So I
So
mean,
you'd put her in
what's
the
new
middle,
from
maybe.
that? Yeah, I'll put her in the middle because But I mean, I don't think she should be as like someone in the chat said. Someone in the chat's like Tina's lower than Nat, and I agree. I agree so hard with that statement.
Someone also questioned whether the author of this article watched the show.
Yeah, they might not have watched the OG. I can believe that. Like
I
they
was
might not have watched the
yeah
original.
yeah I believe that too because this article is like pretty low effort. So I'm gonna start a
Hon-
poll. Did the author watch the show?
Right.
Honestly, that's the way it is with. That's why it's frustrating with so many L word things. Even like the interviews, publicity, anything. They get these people who've never seen the show, so they ask these stupid generic questions like, "Oh, did you have to kiss a woman?" and or things like, "What's oh, how does it feel to go back to the show?" And if you instead had people that actually, I don't know, go on a lesbian podcast or something to actually speak to people who've watched the show. And it was like that LA Times article last year when the show finished for the season that they clearly hadn't watched the show or they'd watched like 2 episodes from what they were bitching about.
Yeah, I can imagine if I was like some random like non-fan of this show and I was like gonna make like $50 or something, I would not watch hour-long episodes. So it seems plausible, unfortunately. Okay, let's get through to our next person on the list, who I think maybe people will be a little less up in arms about.
I am up in arms
Oh,
already.
really?
See,
Number 11, Nat. Explain, Evelyn.
Oh, why? I first of all, I feel like she should be higher, which means lower.
Right. Okay.
That's so confusing. But
Sorry. Yeah. When I say lower on the list, I mean towards the bottom, like
Okay.
worse, and then higher, like they're more likable than the author. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like Nat should be lower. And I did not like Nat first off. Like I didn't care for Nat, and I wasn't really sure why. But I think the reason I don't care for Nat is because of Alice. Because Alice is my favorite character. Period. End of it's Alice. Like there is nobody I like more than Alice on this show, and so I think the reason I'm not a Nat fan is because I just don't think she is good enough for Alice. Like I don't think she deserves Alice, and I didn't like the way that she was with Alice. So it's less her personality and just like I love Alice is what it is.
I think that's absolutely what it is for most fans. I think Alice is a fan favorite for a lot of us,
It's
and
like
as
she's
the blog article kind of, or the blog author kind of like nailed it when she was like, "Stop hurting Alice." I think that was.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess maybe I agree with her. I didn't read. What does that say? Nat, you'd fight for Alice, but yeah, I actually okay. I'll agree with that.
Okay.
I like Alice. I like Nat.
You
I
like
do.
Nat?
Yeah.
What do
I
you like
Nat.
about Nat, Ash?
I just think that she's like, well, I really like the throuple scene from
The what?
season 1. The
Okay, so
throuple
name
scene.
something that's not sex that you
Um,
that you
Why
like
can't
about
you
Nat,
name-
Ash.
I like Gigi and that, but I just like the way like she's not really some. I mean, I really hated the all of a sudden she wants to have thruples and whatever else was going on, but I just like the way she was like not. And I mean, like she's really pretty and all that, but like she wasn't some psycho drama. I mean, she was a bit boring for Alice, but I still do like Nat. Like, I just think that she was.
My
like,
favorite part of Nat was the throuple and the polyamory, and like I don't like how she was like messing with Alice's head, but I found the throuple extremely compelling for me. Probably because Nat's not like, as you said, what did you say? She's not a psycho, whatever. Like I kind of want her to be a psycho. I don't know.
And I just, I mean, like her and Gigi too, and I mean, I let also my kind of feelings about the actor like get in there sometimes.
No,
And
I get it.
Stephanie
Stephanie
Allen
Allen.
is, yeah,
That's
I
Tig's,
do
Tig's
I
wife.
I
Yeah, it's Tig's wife. Tig's cool. We love Tig Notaro,
yeah,
Tig's the
I
best.
do think that it's going to be
and she's in the new
tough.
show Reboot too. By the way, she's good in that.
Say that again.
Sorry, let me stop interrupting you.
No, what show did you say?
Reboot is this show on Hulu.
Oh
She's
yeah,
in
I
it
just
briefly,
started
but she
watching
does.
that.
She plays a lesbian also, but she's not like she's literally in like 2 episodes. But you know,
Oh, I'm only
Stephanie
on
Allen or Tig?
yeah, Stephanie Allen.
Oh, okay.
I'm only on the second episode, but it's good. It's good.
Oh, I love Reboot.
Yeah, it's funny.
Ooh,
But
I'll have to
I
check it out.
think that it's going to be tough for Stephanie when obviously that, I mean, even in the trailer it shows what angle that is going.
Yeah, people are not gonna like what happens in season 3 with Nat. So Nat might be even further down on the list after this season.
Yeah.
Why is she still on the show? I mean, if she's not with Alice
She's
and she's not with
only
Gigi,
well, that's what
did,
she's
did
coming
she
back.
start getting her own storyline and I wasn't paying attention?
No, she's been gone, but she's coming back for the
Oh, okay.
Gigi for Gigi basically.
Oh. Okay.
She's coming back to repeat the storyline they kind of created in season 1, which is that like her and Gigi
Oh.
belong together,
Oh.
which totally doesn't make sense to me.
And you know, maybe I am jealous of Nat a little bit because I mean, she had Gigi and Alice. Like, excuse me, like,
Yeah,
Sorry.
Nat's like got skills. How is she
I mean,
like?
she got something because, like, how are you attracting these women? But you know what? That's just my jealousy talking.
Okay, let's go to our next person on the list. This is I was like dumbfounded by what the author said.
Ooh, what's
Number
next?
10.
Oh.
And let me just read this blurb the author wrote. I call her Rosie's character because I can never remember her name.
Jesus
Karen,
Christ.
Carly, Carrie. I think it's Carrie. Anyway, Rosie's character makes me feel sad in my stomach, and I don't hate her, but I have other people that I care about more, you know? I will say that I appreciate her kindness, and I love to see Rosie as a full-blown gay on TV, but also, but at the end she says, but also my life could go on without Carla, so...
People will
That's
do
just
anything
like-
for clout these days. I swear.
That's what the chat was saying, that the author was just like trying to be
Disgusting.
controversial.
Disgustingly rude. Like I find that so like things like that like really annoy me because it's just like I am so important that I can. I mean, obviously it's like an attention thing because you can Google like it takes 1 second to Google that but there are people
she was
that
being cute. She was being cute, you know.
it just annoys me. I think it looks rude, and even I mean, it probably is like you said, like a choice. But there are people who will come in and be like, "What's the name of this?" or "What's this?" or blah blah blah. It's like would have taken 1 second to Google, but
Yeah, you're writing an article. You have time
yeah,
to
exactly.
And also, I just thought it made no sense. Like Carrie, I thought was very memorable, even though she's only in half the episodes from last year. So, or I don't know, maybe she's in more than half. But
Yeah, I mean, she had like a full like storyline.
like very memorable scenes, especially towards the
Mhm.
end when she was like starting drinking again.
Well, I fully admit to having bias when it comes to Carrie because I love Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, I just do. I watched her show when I was growing up every single day after school. So maybe the reason I like Carrie so much is because I like Rosie so much. But also Carrie also kind of has that thing that Finley has, that like sad puppy, sad girl vibe that you're just like, oh, poor thing. Like Carrie has that too. So
Oh, really? Interesting that you see Carrie. See, to me, I just see Carrie as like in the beginning, Bet's, adversary. Like Carrie can go toe to toe with Bet in a very funny way, per the talent of Rosie. And then towards the end, with the storyline, maybe a little sad puppy with like Shane and Tess, driving her home and stuff. I see what you're saying there, actually, now that I
Like
talk this
that
out.
one scene, I felt so bad for her. I was like, oh. I don't remember anything more than that, but I remember the scene just made me feel bad for her.
Nakia saying Carrie has more backstory than Tina. It's kind of true.
Does Tina have backstory?
They have never
I thought she was born in
explained.
Bet's bed.
Have they ever? Sorry, what'd you say, Evelyn?
Nothing. You can go.
Have they ever explained what happened with Bet and Tina? Like what's been going on? Like why they divorced?
You mean the in between?
Yeah, the 10 years or whatever it was.
So my idea was that what they should do, I've said this loads of times, but in the cold opens of season 3, what I wanted them to do was to use the cold opens to go to the in-between times of the OG and Gen Q. So you could go back to like the last time Bet saw Kit, Alice and Tasha breaking up, what happened with Bet and Tina, because then it's a good way to use or to be able to bring back like Rose Rollins and all these people, but not having to think of like we just bumped into her, or to do
like
know
Sherry
what I mean,
Caffey, just
and
like
and not sidetrack the whole episode, because you only have 10 episodes. You still need to keep the stories moving. But with the Bet and Tina thing, no, basically, Bet and Tina ended in season 6. If they still stayed together from season 1, and Bet never cheated and they never split up, like you could buy that they just grew, like were still having a bad time and divorced, but they like seriously went through back and forth, the season 3 shit, the season 5 shit, like all of that, and they worked on it. They were in a really good place. They were actually communicating with each other. And then season 6 obviously ended. And then boom, in Gen Q, they're split up. I just think it was really, again, like poor planning and decision making, because it just didn't make sense the way that they were laying it out to us. And it still doesn't. Like, I actually find it harder to believe that like things that they've mentioned, like Tina didn't go to Kit's funeral. I'm like, in what world would, like, Tina had a separate relationship with Kit too? And I mean, I think that's a big issue that everybody has is the divorce, because there was no, like, they just are like, oh, they got divorced. Like, there was no sort of explanation or anything, and we still haven't had that. Which
do you think they know though, Ash? Like, you're kind of like inside the.
I don't know about that.
The call's coming from inside Ash's house or something like that. I'm like trying to use that. Surely someone on the writers team, like had some sort of like whiteboard with like, okay, this is what went on. Here's what we're working with. This is, or no, they're just like, we don't know.
You would think. I mean, I have a whiteboard here that I can donate. I have offered my time, energy for free to be the keeper of the timeline, the whatever. But it's honestly, that is the same thing as I was saying before, is that having also spoken to all these people, the way that they didn't sit down and think, okay, this is Bet and Tina are getting divorced, but that is because we want them to get back together in season 3, and we want to have this wedding, and we want to have this, and we want to have that. They're just moving from one episode to the next, and that is my major frustration. And now they're also doing things because of like people only being in a certain amount of episodes and people leaving and this and that. So they've drawn this story out for 2 years. Well, it's really been in the real world like 3.5 years. And now they're at the point where Bet and Tina have like been divorced, and then they've moved forward a tiny bit to fighting and moved forward a tiny bit over these 3 years. And then it's going to be like, okay, we moved this length in 2 seasons, and in 2 episodes, we're going to move this length.
They're going to make the the jump.
Like literally,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, split up with Carrie and Pippa, get back together," and then by episode 10, it's gonna be like, "and get married."
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
But
Well,
I think people will forgive it because of the way that they're doing 1, 2, 9, and 10. Because obviously, I haven't seen them, but from everything that I've heard and everything that I know, people will love them.
yeah. I mean, I think they're giving us the one thing, or they're giving the Tibbeters the one thing that will possibly make up for it all. I don't know. I think it's hard to make up for like poor writing, like poor structure. But we'll see. We'll have fun with it this year. Let's get to our next ranked person, and this is interesting. The author has put Angie and Jordy into one slot together as if they, I don't know. I
Our
guess,
brain?
yeah. I kind of get it because they're kids, and like it's always a little, we don't talk about kid characters the same way we do adult characters, but also to me, Angie is like for sure fully her own character and has plot lines outside of Jordy.
I don't talk about the kid characters at all.
Maybe it's because Jordy doesn't have a plot outside of Angie, though.
That's true.
Like everything about Jordy is Angie. Like we've
But so
never
what?
seen Jordy
Why
on her
not just
own.
put
So, I mean, I
Angie?
guess I can understand it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I also was a little
Ish.
confused by the Jordy Angie plot line because
It was very stupid.
it like fizzled out, and then it was like they went to prom.
It was so stupid. I hated everything about it. I'm sorry.
I love you, Evelyn.
I'm sorry. I can't even pretend like I like that storyline.
No, it makes me laugh.
I mean, the storyline was fine, but the execution of it was horrible.
Well, from what I saw in the trailer, storyline over because Angie's having her, what did she call her hoe face or
Hoe
something?
face, yeah.
So
Okay.
I think we're gonna see an entire different Angie this season.
And did you
I mean,
see
as long as
the-
she's 18. Like,
Well,
she
she's
was of
in
age,
college
right?
now.
Is
She's in
gonna be
college
okay?
now, yeah.
Because I don't know how old she is now, so okay.
Yeah, I still don't really talk about because she's so young. So if Angie like intersects with like the adult storylines, I'll like mention her. But I would never, like I break things down by character and stuff. I would never talk about her. But judging by the episode 3 pictures that just came out, it looks like Angie might be getting with like her professor. It's the guy with the glasses in the trailer that's like at like the podium.
Oh man, that's like a dark.
I don't. Is there a new trailer out, or did I just not watch that one well? I probably didn't watch that one.
Was the
well. I know.
pictures,
Oh
right?
no, it's pictures
Oh, it's a
from
picture. Okay.
episode 3. Episode 3.
Oh, I mean,
Go in
good
the
for her, I guess.
college girls, the Sex Lives of College Girls route there with that
There
storyline,
we
which was
go.
not popular with that fan base, from my understanding.
Yeah, I well,
Professor student
funnily, when I was in university, my
Did you
best
sleep with
friend.
your professor, Ash? Was it with your friend? Was it your friend, Ash? Really? I'm just. You know what? Let me shut up.
No, my best friend, who's a psychiatrist now, her and I both had things with some of our professors.
Oh, okay. I
Oh.
thought you were gonna say your friend had a thing with their professor.
That's
and
what I
was
did say.
gonna- okay.
And
Wait! I
me.
thought you just said you had a thing with your professor. Did I miss
Yeah,
that?
and my friend did too.
Oh, okay,
She's
okay.
straight though. And
Okay.
my professor was also called Ash.
Oh, Ash.
Yeah.
Wait, I've always wanted this to happen in like this is like weird though because it's not right if it was your professor. But sorry, on a
Young
separate
professor.
okay. I mean, I guess it's yeah.
I wrote an entire book where this is the plot. So I mean, I'm gonna shut the hell up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
should we promote your book?
I mean, if you guys want to buy it, it's a ridiculous book. It's so ridiculous. It's called It's Complicated. It's so ridiculous, but that's
Ooh.
what it's
Gotta
about.
get
It's
it.
literally about a professor having an affair with a student in the most ridiculous way you can imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm
feel
gonna get
free
it.
to buy it.
I'm gonna get it.
There's
And do you know
also a movie.
who also went to our university? I've told you this, Evelyn, before. Moist Critical. Charlie was
Oh
at
yeah, yeah,
our
yeah.
university. And
Who?
Catherine McBroom went to high school too.
Who's Catherine McBloom?
McBroom. She's from that Ace family. She's really
The wife
yeah.
from the Ace family.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm totally lost
Ah.
here.
She was at my sister's year.
Okay, let's
Okay.
move
That
on from
means
the
that
kids
you're
here.
not on YouTube. You're on YouTube a healthy amount, Amanda. That's what that means.
No, I need to know all this drama and all this stuff.
You don't. No.
Okay. Let's. I want to see what you two think of our person who's next on the list.
Bet.
They
What?
have
Bet,
at
bet,
number
bet.
8.
Are you
Bet.
Joe? I would say I swear with there, but I don't want to get you too much.
The chat is gonna go nuts. Like the higher we go on this list, like people are gonna lose their minds.
Are you joking me? What the heck?
Let's see. What does the author say? Bet could literally eat a human's face off and throw the skin and blood at me while calling me an ugly loser, and I'd still love her. She's Bet, but also she was a bead, a crayon. Oh, here we go. I was like
Who's
confused.
Crayon?
It's her Carrie joke she's bringing back. Oh, sorry. Spoiled you.
Oh, that was poorly executed. Because I'm like, who the hell is Crayon?
Yeah, it seems like that's the only negative. I guess Bet is number 8 because she's mean to Carrie. That's what this
Who
author
you don't
is saying.
even like.
Right.
Okay, I have a new theory. A human did not write this. This was
It was
written
AI.
Yep.
by like AI or
AI
like
generated.
something. That they just fed it a load of like lesbian culture.
Don't you think the AI would make better jokes?
Probably. Yeah.
the
Maybe that's
crayon, I was
insulting
like,
to AI.
Yeah.
I mean, they can make like artistic masterpieces. It's interesting that
So
the
they said
author.
she was also a bitch to Gigi. Is that the reason
Yeah.
they put her? I don't. Look, okay. The thing is, like, Bet was never gonna marry Gigi, and I feel like that was very clear. Like, it wasn't like we knew what that we knew what was up with Bet and Gigi. I don't.
No, that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, like I don't think that was.
It was fun. Some fun.
Yeah, like I feel like that was clear though. So
Do you?
I don't know.
She was. I do remember in the season when they were like getting together that people did think that she was kind of rude to Gigi, and I do remember like agreeing with that. Like, oh, why aren't you
No, she was. Yeah.
recognizing the
Bet, though.
do what,
Like,
Evelyn?
Bet is kind of rude to every. Like that's Bet. Like I feel like she was just being herself.
It just came out of nowhere though, too. Like they were like having that super hot kitchen island scene in episode 4, and then by episode 6 she was just like,
Well, she was done. She was like, I mean, this was fun. I don't understand. I don't see the problem. I guess I don't know.
I think if it wasn't Gigi, I don't even know if anybody would have noticed.
And nobody would have noticed. Not at all.
don't you touch a hair on my precious Gigi's head.
I
Look,
mean,
I love Gigi, but I mean, girl, I mean, you need to know what's up. I mean, if you messing around with Bet Porter, you already know what's up. Like, I don't know what else to tell
she
you.
should have done her
I
research.
love you, sweetie, but it's Bet. Bet's gonna bet, and you can bet on that. I'm so sorry for that pun. But
No, I
I
that
got
was amazing.
I got too much. It was too full of myself.
Bet's gonna bet, and you can bet on that.
You got carried away.
You know what? I'm logging off. Good night. I'm logging off. I'm leaving.
Elwood pun.
I can't.
Let's see. I'm doing the Michael Scott thing. I'm trying to think of one.
Gigi
Danny.
was temporary. She was.
Oh, for Bet, certainly for Bet. Okay, I think we can all agree this is insane that Bet is this low on the list.
Yeah. Throw the
that's
whole
crazy,
list away.
I mean, so
Yeah, I
much of the
agree.
show is Bet Porter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's barrel through this. Some people I kind of already spoiled a few seconds ago. Number 7, we have Shane.
Who the fuck's on the rest of the list?
Y'all are gonna lose it when you see who this author put at the top of the list. It's like pretty crazy.
Oh, I already know.
I have a guess.
I mean, like, think of who's left. Shane at 7. Let's see. The author says Shane is there for everyone and mostly just says nothing and gives people money, which I like about her. I do wish Shane would change her hair. I don't know who John Varvatos is, so I don't get that line that the author just wrote. Anyways, it says Shane is Shane, and that's good with me. I kind of understand where she's coming from because like Shane hasn't really had a storyline since season 1, which I still don't know why we didn't get to like see Shane and Kiara and like have that be her storyline, and instead it was like invisible Kiara. And anyways,
they just don't know what to do with Shane. I think they just. I think they don't know what to do with
they
Shane.
don't. They really don't.
That's all. I'm neutral about Shane just because of everything you just said. Like I'm neutral on Shane.
Same.
You know, she's fine.
I it's the same thing for me. Like they've done nothing with her. Like they literally tried to do the poker thing, which
Did they try though?
No,
or did they introduce it and then never come back to it?
They had the idea and then they like put it in at the first episode, and then they like, but in episode 2 they were like, oh yeah, and then they just dropped it and went nowhere.
Why didn't they show us Shane? If they didn't know what to do with Shane, why not just show us Shane and Tess falling for each other?
Yeah, that was also, I don't know, like it's the same thing as always. It's like have an idea, but then not they can't execute it. Like it's just they have the idea, they put it in there, and it's just there's nothing built around it. Like it's just like dropping a skyscraper in the middle of the desert, like
the Cherry Jaffe thing. It
yeah,
just was
it's really, really frustrating.
What Ash said.
Will Shane cheat on Tess this season? And that will be what they do with Shane going forward, like more of the old.
I mean, I feel like if they do that, it will just be so cliche. But we know that Sherry Jaffe's coming back. How many? We don't know how many episodes. Will it be just something super cliche like that?
She gets a drink thrown in her face.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone who's together in season 2 will be together in season 3. And that episode where Tess throws the drink is episode 4 because they're like the Halloween one. So, and then we see Tess and like her mom, and then also it looks like Finley is like gonna stay with them or something, and there was something more going on there. So it'll be interesting because, well, I'm not going to go that far actually. We'll see what happens because Tess and like Dana's and Shane, like I wonder what would happen there if Shane and Tess broke up. Like,
oh, maybe that'll be the storyline with the bar. Yeah.
I
agree with the chat, y'all. Shane is looking hot in season 3, which I think is like part of what her character is supposed to function as, is like the hotness thing. So I hope she gets more, but yeah.
Do you like, this is like a weird question for both of you, but when you used to watch the OG, maybe even put it this way, like did you think like, oh, Shane's like the hottest, or like love Shane?
Shane's not my
no, go ahead, Evelyn.
I mean, Shane's just not my type in general, so I never thought Shane was hot. Not that she's not a beautiful, attractive woman, she's just not what I like. So
can we get your type, Evelyn? Can we get an exclusive here?
Who's my type?
Yeah.
Well, I love Alice. I told you. Alice
that's your type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Alice is my type, but I enjoy Alice.
You're into Alice.
Yeah.
I enjoy Alice.
You would like ask Alice out. in real
I would
life?
absolutely ask Alice out on a date.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
how would
Alicia Haley's
Evelyn Dar
beautiful.
hit on
Yeah.
Alice? That's what
I
I
would
want.
absolutely hit on Alice. I mean, I would hit on all of them.
Did you slide into her
I mean,
DM?
I mean, yeah, like that's just it is what it is.
Hey, I'm an author. I'd love to be on your show.
Right. I write ridiculous things. Come on. No, yeah, I'd hit on everyone.
Thank you, Cindy K, for telling me that Varvatos is menswear. I'm probably saying that wrong. Sorry. Let's go to our next spot. I remember there's another way.
Oh, Amanda, it sounds like you're underwater.
Oh, really?
Oh, now it's fixed.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay. Let me know if it happens again. Thank you. Okay. So
I knew
again,
it
these
wasn't
are
your mic.
maybe it was the audio responding to this horrific list.
Yeah.
Okay, this also I think is just way too low. Coming in at number 6, we've got Alice.
Boo.
Boo. This.
Boo.
Boo. This does not make me want to scream lesbian. It makes me sorry, that was for Rosie. According to the author, she's docking points from Alice because for some reason she loves Sophie and Finn. Oh, this goes back to the author's hate of Sophie and Finn.
So silly. That's such a stupid reason to not to put her there because she's friends with girl, go home.
And I don't even remember
No.
her being like, "Oh my god, you two have to get together." I mean,
Maybe because she didn't shun them. Maybe that's what they mean.
Oh,
I don't
probably.
know. Because she showed up to Finley's situation intervention, so maybe that's why. But like, she's their boss. Well, she's Sophie's boss now.
Finn does not work there anymore.
Right? Didn't she start?
She got let
doing
go.
something else or something?
Remember she left because
She was teaching soccer or something. I don't know.
no, when Alice brought her back, but then Sophie was like, oh, she broke up my wedding, and then Finley was like, oh, I'll teach the replacement guy to make coffee and blah blah blah. Yeah, she's still working at Dana's in the 3rd season, at the beginning at least anyway.
I'm putting up a poll about Alice because this is just insane to me.
Yeah. Oh, my friend Celine said the person who wrote this list watched the show with their eyes closed.
Seriously. What is Kiss Mary of? Oh, is that?
Oh yeah, Kiss Mary Kill.
Is that like fuck Mary Kill?
Kill?
Is that
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you want to do that with the L word?
Somebody was saying they're playing it in the chat, and I'm like, at first I didn't know what that meant.
Okay, who would y'all kiss, marry, kill out of this list or out of all of Gen Q?
Oh, controversial question.
Jesus. Well, I'd marry Alice.
Not a surprise.
You have to. Is one of them kill? What are the things again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's actually traditionally, hook up, marry, or end.
Okay. I would kill Danny.
Right in there, Evelyn.
So excited.
Didn't even say who she wants to hook up with. Wants to kill Danny.
Hook up. Gigi. Come on.
That's pretty
Come on.
good. The hook up and the marry. What about you, Ash?
I would probably kill Sophie. She's probably my least favorite character, and it's between Gigi and Bet. I guess I would marry Gigi and then fuck Bet because Gigi's probably
That's solid. That's
better,
solid.
wife.
That's a terrible wife. We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently Gigi is too, though. So, I mean, I don't know.
They're both cheaters.
Yeah.
Listen, if I got to marry one of them, they can cheat on me. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, I would
That's so
actually.
toxic, Ash. No, I'm just joking.
I would get with Gigi even if I knew like she was gonna cheat on me. That's how hot.
Like
Gigi
you would
is.
date her even if you knew she was going to cheat on you.
Yeah, I would get my heart broken, and I'd be like,
that's so toxic.
take my heart.
You gotta love yourself.
Toxic lesbian.
You need to love yourself, Amanda.
Hope my wife isn't watching this.
Amanda's the one with the hot wife, and we're
Right.
the two idiots.
This is
who
in
have
an
no wife.
alternate universe where I'm not married.
Oh, okay. We're Kaylani's in those DMs anyway. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And I
I haven't forgotten.
Listen, I do have an announcement to make.
Is it Kaylani related?
It is Kaylani related.
Is she in the DM? I mean, you could tell me. It's fine. I don't care.
Y'all, she unfollowed me.
Oh no!
I cried. I cried my heart
Was it
out.
because of me?
It was, Evelyn. It's your fault.
I was trying to.
You know,
No,
she
I'm
heard
sorry.
that I was bragging
so
about
sorry.
it, and then she went,
Aw.
nope, unfollow.
I feel bad now. Like I didn't really want her to unfollow you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sure her like manager like uses one of those apps that follows and unfollows people. But my heart did get broken, Kaylani. If you're
Are you sure she
listening-
didn't leave Twitter because Twitter is twittering right now?
No, it was Instagram, and she very much is still on Instagram.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. So little.
Well, if you
take a
need
little
anything,
moment.
I'm here, Amanda. If you need to talk or just
Thank you, Evelyn. It was just like the whiplash of like, oh,
Yeah.
she loves me.
No, I
Oh.
know how it is. I know how it is. I mean, I don't know, but I can imagine.
It was the funniest bit of the whole thing was though, like Amanda didn't know. I texted her and was like, "Oh
That's
my god,
funny.
Kaylani follows you."
But
That
Rosie,
made
I
it
love you
even
for saying that.
cooler.
You did. Ash did tell me, and then I was like, I immediately told everybody who would listen. Like,
No, as you should.
Of course.
Yeah, that's
it
what
was
you
like
should do.
one of the greatest days of my life. And then we did the live. What was that? Like a couple of weeks ago, and again bragging about, oh, she probably had already unfollowed me at that point. I'm just out here like, oh yeah, Kaylani loves me. Oh, she follows me.
Did you
for,
take
like,
a screenshot first?
I think I did actually.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I
you
at
always
least-
have that screenshot, so it
Yeah.
happened.
yeah,
It happened.
Ash is my witness. That's why we're still
Right.
friends, Ash. So you can tell people I was once followed by
I saw
Kaylani.
Aw.
Okay, moving up the list here. This one surprised me. We have Maribel as number 5. Again, anybody watching, this list is worst to best. And so at the 5th best character is Maribel. Wow, this author really hates Sophie if you read the text. I feel bad for Maribel because she's related to Sophie.
Jesus.
But overall, Maribel is one of my favorites. She's funny, blunt, and being friendly with mostly lesbians is hard work. What? Kudos to her. Little self-deprecating humor from the lesbian author there. What are we thinking?
I mean,
I
feel
want
like
to know the robot that wrote this.
I
really
feel
do.
like Maribel had a similar situation in season 2 that Sophie and Finley did. I feel like they kind of assassinated her character a little bit because she was fucking mean to Finley. Like
Yeah.
she was very, very mean to Finley, and it made me like her less. So, but I loved her before, so I don't know. I don't know. And also, I wish she was gay. No shade to Micah. So sorry.
No, Evelyn. No worries.
My bad. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, would she be more likable if she was gay? For sure.
Oh, 100%.
This is the L word.
Yeah.
I felt like they just put her and Micah together with like zero consideration for their chemistry or anything like that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I agree too. I don't love her and Micah. I mean, they're fine. Like they're fine, but I can't help but wanting her to be gay because I be gay. I mean, there's no real reason for me not wanting. Like, there's none. But I'm just being honest.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Maribel's character is I do like seeing Sophie's family when they're all together. I think those are fun scenes, and we lack so many of those dynamic scenes that are like high energy. And so I would like to see more of that, but I think we're going to get a lot more of Micah and Maribel.
Yay.
My thing with her is I think that season 2 they tried to like make her like a test, like okay, she's not main like listed lead cast, but they put her in it quite a lot, and I think it just wasn't necessary. Like that time got taken up just for no reason. Like she didn't really have a storyline outside of Micah. But my main grievance with Maribel the character, Micah the character, and them together is the fact that like I'm really really sorry, but like this is a show for women, whether it be lesbians or bi women or whatever, and we can get like like they just put them together to be like, oh, this is different for the show, and it's like we can see that on like every other show, and I do think it's good for the representation that they have like as well, because it's not like a boring straight white couple, but it's like it is a straight, and this just I'm just tired.
Yeah, Virginia's gonna riot if Mike was number one.
People are saying some people in the chat were wondering if Tom is number one. But don't worry, because the black people did not make this list. They don't exist. The black people on Gen Q don't exist. So don't worry about that.
I honestly myself forgot about Tom, but yeah, Tom could have made the list too. Like Pippa, Tom, both left off.
Pippa definitely should have been on it. Like,
let's do right now. Where would you two put Pippa on the list?
Pippa,
if this list wasn't made by a raging psycho.
The problem with Pippa is I did like her character, and it's just because I like Vanessa Williams and she's damn good. But like as a character, we didn't really get much of Pippa. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's another character defined by her relationship to another character, Bet. And so it's kind of like she was cool what we got of her, but I just feel like I'm neutral on her because we didn't, I mean, we didn't really get too much.
Yeah. I think they did the same thing they do a lot of the time, where in kind of like Evelyn said, like she's defined by the relationship, and they like were working backwards, where they had Bet, say all those things like, oh, I want someone who has like a job, this and that. And even though that scene kind of doesn't make sense now, because Bet thinks she wants like someone who has a career and her work's important and all this stuff, but Alice and Shane were the ones who actually spoke the truth and were like, no, that's not what you want. That's what you think you want. But I feel like
Bet wants what she can't have. That's what Bet wants.
Yeah.
That's what Bet wants. If you're unavailable to Bet wants you.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm
season one love interest. Well, I don't know if that was a real love interest, but her married.
She probably only wanted Pippa because Pippa was like, no.
Right. Pippa initially was like,
Bet was like, that shit is hot. That's probably why she didn't want Gigi. She was like, oh, that's too easy. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Pippa
sorry.
was like,
I think this is
living like secluded, so she probably was
right. She's like, oh, this is going to be a challenge.
So would y'all put Pippa in the middle, somewhere in the middle, since she hasn't been written very well and given very many of her own storylines?
I'm neutral.
Yeah, I mean, this list is just like a fucking mess. So yeah, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, people were asking where I got this from, and I was actually talking to Evelyn earlier about like how in my fantasy I had imagined bringing the fan base together to create our own ranking, that was just so much work for me to conceive of how to do that. I think I still want to do that in the future going forward. And I was even talking to Evelyn about like maybe having like you and Ash, you as well, like maybe try to come up with your own list and then weighing that against of a percentage of the vote or whatever. But anyways, for now, this is like the ranking that I found, and it is horrific. Everybody's not wrong.
But it's fun. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
It's terrible, but it's really fun to talk about. So, you know.
Okay, speaking of the list, we're getting close to the top,
Uh-oh.
to the author's opinion of the best characters,
Yeah, we're in the
and
top 5, right? Yep.
we're at number 4, Gigi. I think this is too low even for me. If we're just saying for all of Gen Q, I think Gigi should be top 3. I mean, maybe I'm overhyping with all the other fans, the hotness and the I don't know. What do you two think?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I could see Gigi. I think actually, I don't think 4 is bad for Gigi, because she really isn't. Like, we saw more of her in season 2, but she's still kind of a not quite main character. You know what I mean? So like, she's just kind of bouncing around from person to person, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like 4 is probably fine. I think 4 is, because 4 is respectable. Like, that's the top 5. You know?
I don't know. I thought she should have been top 3.
Blasphemy. Gigi needs to be like number 1.
Okay.
I mean,
1 and 2. Well, I would put Bet probably 1. I Bet Alice and Gigi would be my top 3.
But she's still not quite a main character. I don't know. I guess
I do see her as like a main.
You think so? Because she was barely in season 1, right? And then in season 2, she was in it more. But like, how much of Gigi did we see that wasn't her fucking Bet or her fucking Danny?
That's what I need to see.
I don't know.
Baby.
I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong. I like Gigi. I just don't know if she's in it enough to be like top 3.
I think the fact that she isn't really a main character, and you're probably right, screen time wise, but like she still literally is the favorite for like 90% of the fan base. I think that says something about her character. And yes, you're right. It's like the sex scenes and stuff. But for me, I'm not really thinking of those, adult scenes. I'm thinking of her pounding on the front door and nailing the ring to the door, and her chewing the gum in the car and making her jokes and all of that. And, how she was like kind of a BA with Danny towards the end of last season. That's how I'm seeing Gigi.
I mean, I totally agree, because yes, like, when I'm joking and like saying like, oh, about like she's hot and stuff, like, of course, like everybody, we all have eyes, we know, but I do just really like the character of Gigi. And season 1, like the second I saw her, I was like, this is my new favorite character. Who is she? I need to know everything about her. And then because they bumped her up to lead cast member after the first episode, so I was really excited by that. And in between the filming for season 1 and season 2, that I was like, I want Danny and Gigi together, and I used to call them Diggy instead before the genie. If you go back to between season 2 and 1 and 2, I have loads of lives and like videos of me like, Diggy needs to be a thing. We need Diggy. And I just and then season 2, when she was in it more, and when Bet and Gigi happened, my head exploded. But I think they really could have done more as well. And I think it is an absolute fucking crime that they are only like she's going to only be in 3 episodes. That is the future of your show, and
I agree.
Like, that is literally the only chance of having a future of the show and having a season past 3, because Bet and Tina, that's it. Alice and Shane are great and can lead the show then, but they need Gigi. Without Gigi, I just think so many people are gonna tune out, and it's gonna also piss people off that Gigi is gone after 3 episodes, because I mean, I saw it like in season 1, hardly anyone was talking about her. Some of my like Vicky and like subscribers who I know love Gigi are in the chat, and it was a really, really tiny group of us that loved Gigi. And then season 2, it was like fucking everybody loved Gigi. So I think people are going to be
Well, I put a poll up, viewers, so make sure you vote in that. Should Gigi be in the top 3 in the list, or is it right to keep her outside the top 3? Evelyn, you're not as high on Gigi, right?
No, I like Gigi. I just think 4 is fine for her. Like I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. You know what I mean? Like I love Gigi too. But I mean, I feel like 4 is fine. You
What
know,
about
like I don't, you know, she's obviously not my number 1, which is why I'm just like, no, that's fine. You know.
per what Ash was saying, do you think the show is going to lose its spark when she's like not she's only in, as Ash said, 4 episodes, or did you say 3?
3.
3.
1 through
Wow.
3.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I mean, I think the show lost its spark in season 2, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, there's nothing for it to lose in my eyes. So,
Evelyn,
you know,
harsh but fair.
It'll be fine, I guess.
Fine. What a thing to shoot for. Fine.
That's what they want.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I don't know.
Okay, people are gonna go pretty crazy at the next person on the list. Coming
Now
in,
we're in the top 3, right?
we are in the top
Okay.
3. This is
Top
the
3.
author's opinion of the best character, the third best character on the whole show, and it's Micah. The author says, "Sweet Micah, an angel living in this garbage earth. The patience of this man, the tolerance, the compassion. He is a saint. I want to be friends with Micah. Love that guy."
So
This
Micah
person
wrote the
just
list.
wants-
Is that what happened? Micah wrote the list. Okay, that makes more sense.
Evelyn figured it out.
I figured it out.
You know, I thought season 1 Micah was like pretty compelling. I liked the stuff with Jose. I love the scene with his mom. If viewers, if you can't tell, I love family dynamics in the show, which is why it's like so painful about what they did to Kit. But 3, number 3 for Micah.
I think this robot that wrote this list just wants attention or something. You know, like those people who are like, I'm so edgy. I like the weird characters. Like, I feel like that is probably going on here. But I just don't know how you can put a character who, well, one, last season, he wasn't in one episode and nobody really even noticed. And the finale, the only scene he was in was the group scene for Finley's intervention and barely said anything because there just is no, like, what do you know about Micah? Like,
What a coincidence that he happens to be the person who helped Angie. I remember thinking that.
what's his storyline? What's happened? What's going on? Like, all in season 1, he was a professor, and then that was in the
Oh, really?
first episode, and then they wanted to make it him some connection to, so they basically like changed his job and made him a therapist, and then put him in with Nat, and then put him in with Bet and all that stuff. And he has this relationship with Maribel that we barely have seen anything, and even the little bit where they are speaking in Spanish and Maribel's like, oh, I'm gonna go, or the mom's like, have you told him about San Francisco? And she's like, no, but like lots of people, if you don't speak Spanish, you didn't get that. And there's just and honestly, like, outside of people who I really think are like, you know, those people that like want to try and be like edgy or whatever, I've never, and I know a lot of people who talk about the L word. Like, my channel is pretty much exclusively people talking about the L word, and I never ever ever have anybody saying like, I wonder what's going on with Micah, I wonder what Micah's storyline is. So I just don't know how you can put a character, like, I don't like dislike him or anything, and I just don't, like there's nothing going on with him to like or dislike. So
I mean, we've had men characters before that we enjoy that weren't like, I don't know. I guess he's supposed to be a lead, and we didn't have many lead males characters.
yeah, most of them are like a season too, like Tim and Creeper
Angus.
Mars. Yeah, yeah.
Evelyn, where does Micah belong on this list?
I mean, I'm neutral about Micah. You know, I mean,
Neutral on Micah too.
I mean, he's fine. I mean, like, I don't. I mean, Micah doesn't bother me. You know, I mean, he's fine. I mean, like, I don't think he should be number 3, obviously. But no, I mean, like, I'm neutral about Micah. Like, he's, I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's just there. He's fine.
I don't understand his character at all. I don't know if they understand his character. And I did like. It was interesting that they sent him on a date with his coworker or his boss. I can't remember who it was.
I actually like that.
I liked that too. But then they immediately were like, "No, Netflix and chill with Maribel."
That felt like filler. That thing with his boss felt like they needed something. That felt like so pointless.
I think they had the guest star, and then they're like,
"Oh, we got to use her.
do?
We got her, so let's write her in." No shade to MJ. That was MJ, right? Rodriguez, was that who that was?
No.
Oh no, shit.
Was
Who was
it?
that?
Hang on, I can't remember.
But like, no shade to
name
her.
off the top
But
of my
like,
head.
obviously, if you have a name, you want to use them. But like, it just felt very filler. Like, because I'm like, well, why did we do that? I thought we were going to start something new, and we.
I think it was MJ Rodriguez, but maybe I'm wrong, Ash.
Oh, it just doesn't sound. I can't remember it. I'm just checking now on my notes, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I mean,
it probably is right.
Yeah, but
I think realistically he should be towards the bottom. But I don't dislike him. I see what you're saying. I liked him a lot more in season 1.
Well, he had the Jose thing. That was, that was interesting. I don't know that he's as interesting in season 2, and I mean maybe because he's just not in it as much. I don't know.
He also seemed like so sad. Like for somebody who's supposed to be falling in love over season 2, he seemed like he was always kind of like down, like sourpuss a little.
Maybe he was just a sad boy. I don't know. He was just a little mopey. Just a little mopey. It's okay. Some people are sad.
Oh, somebody's mentioning the Love and Basketball reference. You weren't a fan of that one, Haley?
Wait, what happened?
Oh, Micah and Maribel reference Love and Basketball.
Isis
that
King.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I didn't want to say it wrong, but that's what I had in my head. It is Isis King. Yeah.
Okay, Isis King. Okay.
Okay, so I think we can all agree Micah doesn't belong at the 3rd spot. But also we're all kind of like, eh. Let's get to number 2.
God, I don't want to see it. Oh, no. Okay. I'm okay with 2.
I'm still shocked by this. I have
Wait,
not.
you're okay with Tess being 2?
No. I like Tess, but no way 2. No way 2.
I was like, how?
The author says, here's how. Tess is the best. And that's that on that.
I'm telling you, this robot thinks it's edgy.
So no actual reason though. They're just like Tess is the best.
It's a robot. It doesn't have feelings.
You're right.
People are starting to figure out who number 1 might be. So with Tess, I feel like I've been screaming this since season 1 that Jamie Clayton is underutilized.
Yeah,
because I love her in Sense8, and I know completely different characters, but Tess,
she was in Hellraiser too. Completely different character.
Yeah,
I didn't catch Hellraiser.
I liked her in Hellraiser. People are, they don't like it because it's a reboot, but it was alright. She did a good job, I think. Okay. She was like a cute pinhead.
Okay. Yeah, I think so much was lost in them just shoving Tess and Shane together and not showing us the development.
I feel like Tess is another character. She's in the show more than some of the other characters we talked about. But to me, Tess is also a character that is more defined by her relationships to the other characters. Like when we first met her, she was like the cheated on girlfriend, and then she was like Shane's business buddy, and then she was like Finley's mentor, and now she's Shane's girlfriend. And like everything, and then
Mhm.
the things that are actually about her aren't really exposed. Like they're kind of mysterious, like her mom in Vegas or wherever, Santa Barbara, I don't know. But like she's not. It's like they're trying to make Tess a fully formed character, but they're just not quite. They're not quite there yet with Tess, I think.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I like Tess, I really do, but I wouldn't put her at number 2.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't have, and I think maybe they'll do this more with possibly having Finley live with them. I'm surprised we didn't get more of Tess like mentoring Finley and that side of them both being alcoholics. I guess they did show it, but it was mostly like them hooking up. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
never.
just-
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go.
I was gonna say I never quite understood why Tess went from I'm not gonna date my boss to actually I'm in love with Shane and Shane's in love with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did
And
we
it
get
was
there?
like super quick. Like a night.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly's right. Bringing her mom, if that's what you're saying, Kelly. I think showing us Tessa's mom, if that's going to continue to be a plot line, would help like ground that plot line for me, so I can at least picture her when like they're talking about her.
I feel
And
like just
also
give her
just to
more of a
get some.
personality of her own. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like she's like she kind of goes from being like the wise sage, you know what I mean? Like she's meant even with Shane, she's kind of like a sage with Shane and kind of like guiding her, and like that seems to be her character, which is fine, but it's like, you know, anything else?
Yeah,
Is
I
she just
don't know
here to help other people? Well, I mean, if that's, you know,
what is her personality. Yeah, is she
yeah.
um funny? Is she kind of you know in I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. To your point, yeah, I don't really know much about her personality.
Yeah.
That's why like I hope with the mom coming that because pretty much no one on the show, like some of these, I know there was a break in between, but some of these characters have been on TV for 20 years, like, and there's no backstory, no nothing. So hopefully that gives us something more because, like you said, we really don't know anything about Tess, and I have just, I just feel as though she, like you said, exists for the relationship of Shane and as an
Mhm.
extension, and I'm gonna be that person right now and say, when I was on the set of the L Word,
Ooh,
the
say it.
person who brought me around, Dana's and everything, was Jamie Clayton, and honestly, she is the nicest fucking person, and they are so. Like I was so surprised when I met her. Not that I thought like she was gonna be not nice or anything, but she is unbelievable. Like she has such a amazing personality. Like she is so, oh my god, you're here, and like she was just like a total show woman, like showing me around the place, and she was so friendly and like just I feel as though Tess is like this meek, quiet person, and it's like why not tap into a bit of the personality of the person who's playing her and seems like an awesome person because they're obviously struggling to
Mhm.
give Tess personality and like
Mhm.
define her outside of her relationship, and it's like right there.
Yeah, as per Becky's point in the chat, and this has been brought up since last season when everybody was like, "What was that?" Are there too many characters to develop
Yes,
all of them?
yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Way. Like I just don't understand why there needed to when you already had like these great characters from the OG that you knew worked already. Like if you're going in to a new show and being like, okay, I gotta give them like 10 characters because maybe only people will, relate or connect with 5 of them, but you already have these amazing ones. So why not pick a few extra ones like Gigi and really get those other ones to work and kind of build them into Bet, Shane, Alice, Tina, etc's world instead of just, I don't know what, like, I don't even think if you ask them what is the goal, like what was the goal when you started this show, what was the goal of introducing these people, I think that they were just like, well, we just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall and we're like, oh, this is sticking, let's go with that.
Yeah, the Elon Musk approach. Just
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think I wonder if they just wanted young, hot people and just like a lot of younger, hotter people. And that's like, as you said, kind of where they stopped with the
Yeah.
planning.
Because even like, I mean, I'm just going all out here, but like even some of like the acting and stuff, I'm like, what? Like, what was the? Because you have such juggernauts like Jennifer Beals and people on the show, so it highlights the underperformance even more of some other people. So I really it
That is a really good point. That's a nice way to say somebody's sure and can't act. That is a very nice way of saying that, Ash. Is that? I'm sorry. Was that?
you got to dress these things up.
Oh, like that was beautifully structured.
Okay, I think it's time for us to reveal number 1. And no, it's not Sherry Jaffe. I'll go ahead and spoil.
Nothing would shock me with this list, Amanda.
Let's see. Let's drum roll it. And at the top of our list, this author has made, and people in the chat were saying, "Who is this? Is this a man?" The author self-identified as a lesbian, so supposedly not. But we all know it's AI. So, number 1, the most awesomest character, Danny, and the author would die for Danny. Anything for Danny. Anything for Danny, I said. That's like it for explanations.
I'm sure that's nothing to do with how they feel when they look at Danny. So
Danny. Where does Danny belong on this list? Is this crazy? Is it that crazy to have Danny as the best character in Gen Q?
when was this list this must have been season no, it had to be after
It was
season
after
2.
season
Sorry.
2.
Yeah,
It was
Oh, yeah.
it was let me see here.
Maybe they were on a Danny Gigi high.
This was October 2nd. So it's been a while of last year. But it was after.
So that'll be when after episode 8 aired.
Okay.
So they hadn't seen 9 and 10.
So glad you're on the stream, Ash.
Brain is full of useless information like that. So yeah, I mean, I guess like that is right when like the Danny and Gigi stuff had just happened. Like they just had them get together in episode 7, and then their first sex scene is episode 8. So I guess that is like peak Danny and Gigi. But I wouldn't even put Danny because it's and I'm saying this in the I love Bet and Tina and Danny and Gigi across the board, okay? But if you polled 100 Bet and Tina fans and 100 Danny and Gigi fans, it's normally Bet and Gigi that drive the most people's. I know that there's, a lot of people who really love Tina and everything, but if you polled the general fandoms of those two things. So I am surprised that it's Danny over Gigi in that spot, but
Yeah, I think Danny should be below Gigi, no doubt.
yeah,
What about
I
you, Evelyn?
probably wouldn't put Danny in the top. No, I definitely wouldn't put Danny in the top 5, but like I would put Gigi. So
Evelyn, where do you think Danny belongs?
Oh, she belongs underneath the list. I don't like Danny. I'm sorry. I
She
like it's just a
hates
personal
Danny.
thing. Like it's not. It's me personally. I do not like Danny. So she should be at the very bottom, um, below everyone.
But
The
why?
hard
Why the
disagree.
Danny hate, Evelyn? As
Danny, I feel like she's she's so intense and she's like a 10 on the intensity scale and everything is like a fire. I feel like she attacks everything with the exact same level of emotion, which
Mhm.
is very high, and like she just seems exhausting. Like I feel like spending any amount of time with Danny would feel like I just like ran like 5 miles. Like she's just an exhausting personality. It's like I feel like she needs to meditate or like, you know, do yoga or something. Like I'm just like she's just so fucking intense. And it's like and it's not in like a sexy way for me anyway. I don't find her intensity sexy. I just find it like annoying.
yeah, she's very dry. That's what
Mhm.
Sandia is saying in the chat. Okay, you explained it.
No, like yeah, I just personally I just find her unpleasant. So that's all. I can't even be attracted to her because I don't like her personality.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wow. That's
I
another
don't
hot
yeah,
take.
I can't even look at her and be like she's hot. Nah.
Wait, come on,
She does
Evelyn.
nothing for me. Danny
Come
does
on.
nothing.
I don't
Danny
believe
does
you.
nothing for me
I do
physically.
not believe you.
She does nothing for me. I mean, I can look at her and be like, she's incredibly attractive. Like I can look at her. I have, you know, like I'm not. Yeah, I can be like, wow, she's a very attractive woman. Am I personally attracted to her? Not even a little bit.
So Danny comes up to you in real life and is like, "Come on, Evelyn, let me take you out
Well,
with
first
my
of all, she
father's
wouldn't do it
money."
that way because she's Danny. She would be on 10. All right. And no, no, no. The answer is no. God damn it. Sorry.
No.
I don't like
Rosie
Danny. I'm
agrees.
sorry.
Well, that's the list. Please don't hate me for it.
Well, you didn't write the list. It's fine.
I did
Yeah, the
find
robot did.
it. I did amplify it a bit.
Honestly.
What was the biggest travesty on the list, we think? Like
Danny
what
is
was
number one.
Oh, okay. Ash, what do you think?
I mean, I love Gigi, I love all these people, but putting that fucking Porter, the most revered, infamous, famous lesbian the world over, like there is like Bat Porter
That makes no
is
sense.
like is
Number
the
8.
L word.
Number
That's
8.
And
disgusting. Sorry. Sorry. That's gross.
For
Yeah.
me, it's
How?
the Carla Crayon
ugh,
Carly of it all.
gross.
The author wouldn't even say Carrie's name. I thought that was a pretty big travesty.
Gross. Rude.
That was annoying. Yeah. I was trying to be cute.
And yes, Mindy, Bet and Alice absolutely should have made top 3 for me. And
I
think
agree.
Gigi
Oh
too.
yeah, absolutely. Like to have bet at 8 is just I might have to change mine, even though I mean Danny being one is but I think bet at 8 is just how.
Yeah.
Who will be at the top of this list after season 3?
If the robot writes it, or if I write it.
Sorry, who should be at the top of this list after season 3 based on our predictions in the trailer?
Oh, no, like, I mean, Bet Porter, like now, or even after the OG or season 1 of Gen Q, is number 1. But after everyone sees the end of season 3, like, there she'll be on the straight list. Like, there will be no question. No question. As long as you like Bet and Bet and
Right,
Tina,
because
like,
Bet's not the world's most likable. I love Bet because she's Bet. See, Bet's intensity, like Bet knows how to be intense, right? Like Danny could learn something from Bet, right? Like because Bet is a very intense person, but her intensity is sexy. Like Bet can get it. Danny can't get it. You know what I'm saying? I know I didn't explain anything.
No, I'm with you.
I didn't explain anything at all, but just
I know.
Bet knows how to be intense in the right way.
Could Danny mature a little and harness that intensity and become a Bet Porter? I mean, they both can rock a blazer.
Danny could never.
She's just
Danny could
lost for
never.
you, Evelyn.
I mean,
Danny's
look, she
dead
can
to
improve.
her.
Look, I'm not saying, look, we could all improve, right? Like, she could definitely improve. But is she going to be another Bet? I don't see it.
You're right.
I don't see it happening.
There's only one Bet Porter, baby.
There's only one Bet Porter.
Only
right?
one. And that is because she is a lesbian in her own. Sorry, I had to do that for Rosie. Have to loudly scream lesbian every live stream.
I mean, there's no one else who could, like, if Danny was like, Gigi, and when the Bet's like, Dana, it
Oh, that's
Come on. Like, that's
anybody else, it would look stupid.
It would, right? Like, that's the only one that can scream like that.
Yeah.
You know?
How many
Like, it
times,
is.
just between everybody in this, like watching this right now and us three, how many times did we all like rewatch that scream, that Tina scream? Like a million times or something?
Oh, we watched it in my video yesterday because I'm doing like all the big Bet and Tina episodes from the past, daily uploads until
Yeah, I'm
the
loving
show
that.
comes back. So yesterday I did that one, and then I put it against the one in the trailer. So it's like in that one, she goes, Tina, and then the door slams, and then in season 3, the door slams, and she's like,
Oh, so great.
I love it. I mean, yeah, I love that screaming.
yeah, me too.
So hot. I'm getting a little worked up here.
Peak L-word.
Whew, whew.
Yeah.
Okay. I do apologize, Little Boots, for bringing this list to your life, but I did have a lot of fun discussing it. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Do you two have any other thoughts on this list or on season 3?
Burn it.
Burn the list.
I'm just gonna throw my whole computer, just throw it in the garbage when
Yeah.
I'm done with this. Okay, well, make sure you are subscribed to Ash Silver. I know a lot of you already are, but as Ash said, she's doing these daily uploads with Bet and Tina. They're really fun, and also just like getting really hyped for season 3. And I'm on the hype train. I'm on the Ash Silver hype train. I'm loving it. Like choo choo. And Evelyn Dar over on her channel is like just making the most amazing, awesome lists. I saw you did the vampires, best lesbian vampires not too long ago, and all kinds of good stuff. Make sure you are subscribed to Evelyn. Again, I know a lot of you probably are, but double check that you are, and double check that you have notifications on.
Thanks so much for having us, Amanda.
Yeah, this is so much fun.
Thanks for coming on and letting us just absolutely crap all over this horrible list.
Yeah.
Just probably like this might be the worst ranking of characters I've ever stumbled upon.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
It's pretty awful.
Thank you everyone for coming and for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, head on over to my Patreon, which is linked in the description. Also, Ash and Evelyn's channels are linked in the description as well. Also, the article is in the description, and I pinned it in the comments on this live. So thanks everyone for coming out. If you haven't noticed, I am not quite at Ash's level, but I'm trying to do a few more lives. I'm trying to get one up, every week. So this is going to be a new normal for my channel.
Yay!
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'm sure we'll all be back again at some point to talk a word.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, y'all.